Hello, welcome to my podcast. Are you thinking there's no podcast, Paddy, because you're in your motor? Well, it is a podcast. I'm not in my motor, but it's my studio. It's actually where I record my podcast. I've got a passenger seat there as well in case I want guests. I can have a guest in as well, just sit them there on the passenger seat. I can actually drop them off somewhere or no, do you know what I mean? It's practical. Like if I phone somebody and say, you want to be on my podcast? And they say, no, I've not got time to be on your podcast, Paddy. I'll say, well, actually you could kill two birds with one stone, because I could actually drop you off somewhere while interviewing you. Plus that way, like, I don't even know if I'm going to have somebody on my podcast, because then you end up just going down a mad route you don't want to go down. You know what I mean? Like they start talking about something, you go, what? Why are we talking about this? Like, I want to just have a laugh and be funny, and they start getting all that and all that, and you're going. Whereas if you're driving, like somebody to drop them off, you could go, you just go a shortcut because you're like, I'm going to end this right now, or you could cause a wee distraction. You know what I mean? Like you could maybe go a wee bit early at the roundabout, and then blame the guy that's coming towards you who's actually on the roundabout, who's in the right, but you just try and break up the conversation because like they're talking about like. Yeah, no, and I had a hard childhood, and you know, like my mum and dad split up, and then you go, all right, okay, and you're thinking, we are miles away from getting back to laughing here. What I need is like a wee surprise. So you just kind of jerk out, and then the other motor nearly hit, and you what? Did you see that? That was that guy. And then you just go, what? Here, Mum will follow him for a bit. No, I know, I'm not actually going to do it, but just to let him know. Know what I mean? You just kind of act like that, and it just kind of shakes it up a wee bit. Know what I mean? We'll just tap his bumper a wee bit. Just let him know I'm not happy about what happened and all that. Know what I mean? You could just make up you could just not make these things happen. You know what I mean? Just to kind of break up the conversation, and then you go, anyway, man, I'll need to check. What about, did you ever, and then you just change it? Do you know what I mean? You ever been in a bump? You ever had road rage? You know what I mean? Just change it up a bit, and then it just kind of gets the conversation back on track to where you want it to be. Do you know what I mean? Instead of, like, I don't know how podcasts work, right? But I'm pretty sure it's no illegal to record one in your motor. Is the sound quality going to be great? No, probably no. But I don't know much about podcasts, but I think that people don't listen to it because the sound quality is good. I think they listen to it because it's entertaining. So I think we'll just roll with the motor studio, because I've not got the money to spend on like renting a studio or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And again, you go in there and then you're small talking with people and all that, with the studios and all that. I don't know. Do they have studios? Are there studios that do podcasts? I don't know. I don't even get a mic, or a laptop, or a mouse. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. All I know is, I was thinking today, what about I have a podcast? All these people have got podcasts now and all that. What about I have a podcast? And then I thought, who would I get on? And then I thought, nobody. Or everybody. And I'm not decided about one yet. I'll maybe just do some myself, and then other ones get special guests in. But I think I'll keep them short or not. And then sometimes I think I'll maybe just say, like, put a message out saying, do you want to come on my podcast, and I'll pick you up. And then I just go and, like, we'll just sit outside somebody's house and I'll just interview them, and they might turn out to be hilarious. If it's rubbish, I'll just say, mate, I'm not using that. Mate, that was the worst podcast that MD's ever recorded. You're not a podcast. You're not a podcast guy. If MD ever asks you again to go on a podcast, say no, because you're not a great podcaster. Am I a great podcaster? No, I'm not. But it's my podcast, so we can afford me not being a great podcaster. Do you know what I mean? But nobody's going to listen to a podcast or watch a podcast because, I would have listened, like, Joe Rogan. Like, if Joe Rogan was just to record his podcast in his motor and he had like Donald Trump on, I think people would still watch it. I can't see people saying, no, I didn't like it when like a motor drove by and I heard vroom. Or I couldn't really quite make it. Everybody's got... People aren't going to listen to my podcast because my podcast's rubbish. No, because I record it in my motor. Do you know what I mean? Plus then that way you could just like start the pod. You could be just like driving, right? I'm getting to the tune or whatever, and then you see somebody you know and you go, he or she would be brilliant on a podcast. I'm going to interview him or her, and then you just pull in and say, alright mate, do you want to do a podcast? Mum will do a podcast, and then they've got the opportunity then to go, aye, Mo will do. You just drop them off wherever they were going anyway, do you know what I mean? And you do a wee podcast meantime. That's the plan. It might... I just think people put, like... See, whatever your dream is, you go and do it. And don't let anybody tell you you can't do it just because you've not got a couple of boxes ticked. Know what I mean? You want to, like, be an actor, even though you can't act, and you don't know anything. You just act. Just start acting all the time. Know what I mean? Make your own film. That's what you need. You're going to have to play all the characters and all. But anyway, right, I don't know anything about that, and I don't know anything about podcasts, but I know even less about films. But I think podcasts, you just start a podcast. What am I going to talk about in my podcast? I haven't really thought of it. I just kind of thought of the idea of the day, and then I've been singing all day and night, so I've not really had a chance to think about it. But I don't know. I think it would involve drinking tea, and I think it would involve me telling things that I don't understand and I don't like, and probably talking about the old days. That's probably the three things I do most in my life. Know what I mean? Talk about things I don't understand, talk about things I don't like, and talk about the old days. The older I get, the more I talk about the old days. Somebody just ran by. That's a good thing. Somebody just ran by me there. And I think that's the second time he's ran by me during this podcast, during the recording of this podcast. I don't know if he's wanting an interview or what. I don't know if he's maybe scoping the place or not, seeing if he's got to break in or what to places. I should maybe open the door. I mean, let him know he's been rumbled. Maybe even hit him with the door. Say, oh, I didn't mean that. Set you with that door. What are you doing? You know what I mean? But I think podcasting is there any money in podcasting? No, not the way I'm going to do it. But there's no money in internet stuff for me either. I don't make a penny off of the videos and all that. But I just feel as if, why no? I see these other people doing it and I go, I could do that. Like, I see people making podcasts and all that and I go, I could do that. Would it be as good? Maybe no. Would it be better? Maybe. Does it matter? No. What matters is you just give it a go, don't you? You just say, I'm going to do that. So what am I going to talk about? I don't know. But it'll be short, I know. Because sometimes I only listen to a few podcasts, right? I've not got Spotify. I am an absolute pure, like, I smoke a pipe with tobacco in it and think. That's that same guy went by. Did you hear that there? Did you hear the pitter patter of his feet? He is doing a good pace. He does look like a heavy enough runner. Like, serious enough runner, no heavy. He actually looks like a light runner, if you don't mind me saying. Don't want to fat shame him, but he looks like he's a runner, do you know what I mean? So, but why would I not just go further? Forget about that, right? Get me what I was talking about. See, there you go. It's good for kind of change it up a little. What I talked about earlier on, I could say to the guy, alright, you're a runner, do you ever run? No? Right, cool. What do you think about this? Know what I mean? And I change it. But podcasts are things, and I think like they're too long. So I was saying they're too long, right? Because you'll be like, I start to listen to a podcast, right? I just kind of do it on YouTube because I've not got Spotify. Not, as I said, I'm not good with technology, right? I'm not even that. I just don't even want to be good at it. I don't even care about it. I don't want to waste any of my life learning something that's going to change or that's going to. I just like relationships and talking and music and knowledge and things like that. I'm not really into that. And then you could get somebody else to do it. That's great, do it. But like if I had learned how to work a PC when I was at school, which they tried to get me to do before the internet and all that, right? They would go, oh, there's this and there's a database and all that, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game that you're trying to play. I'm not interested in this. That's that guy. I don't know if the guy's cut the lights to my van or what. He's running me and bam. This is a horror film. This is the bit when you say, Paddy, why? How did you not see this coming? That guy was always going to kill you. He ran by your motor. Why? Why did he run by your motor 5 times? If he's fit enough to run by your motor 5 times, he's fit enough to run like a mile that way and a mile back, or 5 miles that way, whatever, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be running. It's 20 to 1 in the morning. That's another thing. It's 20 to 1 in the morning and that guy's out running by my house 5 times, and then my light went off. And I don't know if it's a timer thing or what, but I can't get it back on. So you're trying to tell me that he hasn't cut the power to my light somehow for the battery or something. Right. I'll have a word with that guy in the morning. I recognise him, right? I recognise him, all kidding aside. It's not too bad. But I think podcasts are too long, right? So if you try and cut them down, like I would start to, I know, as I said, I would do it on YouTube and I would watch like a Joe Rogan podcast or like some kind of thing like that, right? And I go, 3 hours, Joe? Are you joking? I'm not listening to this for 3 hours unless you're talking to, you know what I mean? It's felt like with her, innit? It's felt like with her. He's like, what? Instead of like punching the door or doing it, he's just like, I am going out. I'm going to ruin the block. You're not going to, and then she's like, well, see you in 2 minutes then. He's like, no, I'm going to ruin the block 35 times. You'll see me at 3:30 in the morning. You'll see me when the milk's getting delivered. That's the next time you'll see me. So anyway, I would just maybe do a wee 5-minute podcast or something like that, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I'm new to all this podcasting, you know what I mean? You're probably looking at me going, this is a podcaster. Like if this is the first time seeing me, I'm not actually a podcaster. I know. I'm a musician. Right? And I give people bad advice on the internet, right? And get my seatbelt. I think it's safe enough. I think I'll be alright now. So what I've also got is like lighting. Let's see the street lights. It's good lighting for the studio, you know what I mean? See, especially if I start to tell like a mad serious bit, I'll say aye. But then he was made redundant and he didn't know what he was going to do. You know what I mean? That's a good wee bit to go into that. But aye, listen, it was a great podcast, right? I really had a good feeling about this, about my podcasting from my driver's seat. So I'll maybe catch you in the next one, right? The next one we're going to talk about how the breakdown in society and all the kids being wee weirdos now and people getting away with just like all of that is because people don't visit each other anymore. Like I still visit it, I love visiting. Like if when my wife, say like my wife's got to do something with her family or whatever, or like her pals or something, me and the Waynes go visiting. We go visiting my auntie and uncles, my cousins, my pals, my mum and dad, my brothers and sisters and all that, and all the Waynes and all that. Like, we go, I take them visiting, and I say, you talk to them, and then like I'll put them on the spot, know what I mean? And it's good, because like, we used to go visiting, right? Let's turn around and come back the other way now. But like, we used to go visiting, right? So when we were young, we'd go visiting. So you go and visit your aunt and uncle, right? And then you'd be sitting talking to your cousins, right? So that's all good, right? That's obviously, that's easy. But it keeps everything in a straight and narrow. Know what I mean? Like, we used to go visiting then people I know, like my man and dad's pals or people, whatever, blah, blah. But like, because it was visiting, right? So you would go and visit. So see if you went into that house and the dad was like playing the computer in a cupboard or something. Know what I mean? It's like, where's John? He's in that cupboard playing the computer. You'd be like, what? And the reason I'm saying that is because somebody I knew said that when I was, and I said, why is there a computer in that cupboard, mate? And he was like, that's when my dad plays the computer. And I'm like, alarm bells. I'm starting to like look for clues everywhere, look for evidence of whatever crime that dad has committed. Because I know he's committed a crime. You know it. That guy's committed a crime. That guy's committed multiple crimes. So, say we went in somewhere, right, and like, you go, aye, where's John? He's in the cupboard playing like computer or a PC or something like that, or doing some kind of, you'd be like, what? And then you would give that guy the dressing down of his life in front of your Waynes, his Waynes, and anybody else that was in. And he would go, I can't live with that shame. I'm just going to no do that anymore. And like all these wee guys that are all doing the mad things. No. And then all the Waynes just get put in the one room. Or whatever. You're in the one room. Either go out and play, or get in the one room. If it's dark or if it's during get in the one room and you just talk. Scuffles break out, whatever. Don't come in and moan to us, because we're drinking tea. The adults are drinking tea and talking in here. You just go in there and you sort it out. Get on with each other, or don't go on with each other, whatever. Just stay out of your way. And then like all the Waynes then learn how to talk to people, you know what I mean? They learn social skills. The adults are sharpening their social skills. They're keeping mentally sharp, because they're going, oh, who's that? Who's so-and-so? Oh, right, that's that boy. So is he in your work, and is he related to so? And then we're all, so see when visiting went out the window, see when people get too busy for visiting, or there was better things to do than visiting, that's when society went downhill, in my opinion. And that is going to be one of the issues I cover in my next podcast, if I survive this podcast, because I get a feeling when I step outside the door here, I'm going to meet a swift end. I'll see you later, right? God bless.